Hello, everybody. Welcome to the PHLY Eagles Show. Presented by Doodad Dental and TrueMark Financial. Bo Wulf, Fran Duffy, Zach Berman, and a lot to talk about on a nice, steamy Monday. Full day of pads. And as the Eagles are preparing for Thursday night's preseason opener, we saw the ones get a lot of action today, expecting that they're not going to get a ton of work on Thursday night. And I think you are seeing the ebb and flow of training camp, Fran, where the defense started ahead of the offense, which makes sense, right? Yep. They're running more basic stuff. The offense requires more moving parts. And even without A.J. Brown on the field today, the offense, and in backed-up situations, was much more crisp on offense.
Yeah, I mean, last week, as you alluded to, I thought that and we talked about it on the show, the defense was a little bit ahead of the offense from a pass game standpoint, where you saw not just Jalen Hurts, but Tanner McKee numerous times, like not sure where to go with the football, pat, run around. You know, you saw some sacks, you saw some scrambles, big plays by the defense. Over the last 2 days, and I thought it was especially of note today, I thought that there was a timing and rhythm element to the pass game that we hadn't seen up to this point in camp. And Jalen Hurts, I mean, looked poised, looked confident. It was a really sharp day from a pass game standpoint.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Jalen Hurts. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah. He showed progress these past 2 days, as Fran just mentioned. And I think what stands out too is that it's happened without A.J. Brown, right? So if you missed the shows, well, we didn't do a show over the weekend, but if you missed the news over the weekend, A.J. Brown has a hamstring injury, so he's not practicing. And we typically talk about like how important that is to the passing game. Obviously, he's a special player. It's a sign of progress, I think, that the passing game was efficient yesterday, and especially today without A.J. And the player who really jumped out was DeVonta Smith in terms of, they were in backed up situational work. There were two gotta-have-it third downs, and it was Jalen to DeVonta, like precise both times. And I think that's a positive sign. It also reinforces something that was apparent on a play early in practice yesterday, then throughout the day today, and that's just how smooth DeVonta Smith is.
DeVonta looked really good today, no doubt about it. And, he was getting a lot of work against Quinyon Mitchell. Now, it's not quite the same as with A.J. Brown, where Quinyon is following him all over because DeVonta often lines up in the slot. And so when in those cases, he's going up against Cooper DeJean. And we will get to Quinyon Mitchell later and what Christian Parker said about him, because it's very interesting. And obviously the team is bullish on him. But it is a good reminder. I think DeVonta has, because he missed some time, has had a relatively quiet camp. But it was nice to see that, just the reminder that, DeVonta Smith is awesome.
And I think that's an important reminder. You know, Fran and I were doing the fantasy football show that appeared on Saturday, or like the quick fantasy football short, if you will. And I was wondering, like, is DeVonta a sleeper too? Because if you look at where he was, where he's getting drafted, this is a player who, when you watch him in practice, you're just like, he does everything right. And he had that down year last year, relatively speaking. I think fans shouldn't forget just how precise, how exacting, and how good DeVonta Smith is.
But I also think that what you're talking about from today, Fran, goes beyond DeVonta. There was a play when they're backed up, and I think it was third down, and Jalen hits Johnny Wilson on a slant with Kelee Ringo in coverage in zone. And it's that kind of thing that you weren't seeing a week ago.
Yeah, and you saw there was a similar kind of situation where hits the top of his drop, ball out, Dallas Goedert on a little stick route, sitting down against zone coverage, and he was able to hit for a first down. There was another one, Jahan Dotson on a crosser, where I thought there was a calm confidence from Jalen Hurts for the most part here in this session.
And having watched as many training camps as you have, is this indicative of like the scheme of the offense? Is this just a Jalen thing? What do you take away from?
I think I look at it as like a health of the passing game in general. So the quarterback, the comfort in the scheme, receivers being on the same page, like just the whole operation. And so to me this was expected, because I didn't think that the defense was just gonna. It would have been alarming if it looked the entire camp the way it did for those two practices last week, right? And so I expected it to bounce back.
Zach, what did Kevin Patullo say yesterday about just to sort of level set like how the practices work, about the way that the offense and defense work against each other in camp?
Yeah, so first off, he said him and Vic don't like game plan for each other, right? So they don't know the looks that the defense is presenting. And you asked a good question, is there like a battle between those two? And it's not, but there's this unknown. So it's not often where it's like, can you present this look for our offense? And then there are different types of practices, right? So there's some heavy situational work. Friday session, that was like it was as Kevin Patul called a call it practice.
Yep.
Where they're just putting the ball down and playing it, and it's almost like a game. There have been some heavy red zone days. Today was a backed up day, and so the practices are structured to work on specific situations.
All right, let's go from there to Vic Fangio, because usually it's big ticket event when Vic Fangio is speaking before practice. I thought today was a little bit less fireworks, but what were the big takeaways from Fangio for you, Zach?
Yeah, well, first off, the Cooper DeJean safety angle is something that we continue to discuss, and he said he absolutely thinks DeJean can play safety. He said it doesn't look like Makuba is going to play on Thursday night. As you pointed out when we discussed this before, his discussion about Sidney Brown wasn't bad. Like, it seemed like he's warming up a bit to Sidney Brown. Likes the way Josh Uche is playing. It looks like Josh Uche could become that third edge rusher. And I think the most interesting thing, great question from EJ Smith, was Jihaad Campbell.
Don't butter him up just because you're trying to get back in his good graces. He can ask good questions. He just can't see the person who's
No,
answering.
I'm not buttering up. EJ's outstanding. Terrific at his he's terrific. Vic Fangio said that they are putting too much on, or that they're putting a lot on Jihaad Campbell's plate, perhaps too much, but the time is near. Like, this is the time that they have to do it. If Jihaad's going to play and he's going to play, then they need to throw a lot at him right now.
Let's talk about the safety stuff for a second, because all the time that Makuba has missed has made it so that, like, the status quo right now is Sidney Brown in nickel being the starting safety.
Yep.
Do you think that that's what we will see week one at this point, Fran?
I do. I think it would be an upset at this point if that's not the combination that we saw, just because of Makuba's injury continuing to linger on. I think if he were to make it back in the next few days, maybe, like, if he's a full go next week, maybe he's got an outside shot. But I think that at this point, it really feels like it's going to be Sidney Brown when we get to nickel.
I also think Mac McWilliams' injury is a factor here, because if he was on the field and really pushing at nickel, then you could be thinking, maybe DeJean full time,
right?
But I think the as Vic said, like, the days are disappearing. So
yeah, and speaking to Coop after practice, he's getting more comfortable at safety, right? And he said it took him some time, but he's starting to adjust to it. He likes it. He's spending obviously more time in slot, but he's getting used to it. And I think it's clear, as he pointed out, they're not in base that often, but when they are in base, it's going to be Coop at safety.
And Vic referenced a play from yesterday's practice. He said where there's a specific route that gave us trouble last year that DeJean picked up right away without having had to be told it. That felt like a not so veiled shot at CJ Gardner-Johnson to me. It was not. It was not like it beat the scheme. It was like it beat us at safety. But
I thought it was notable that Cooper said after practice, he was like, "Yeah, like, took me a few practices to get used to it." Some guys that literally that make that transition. It takes like a year, 2 years, but because you are seeing the game from a completely different angle for a guy who had never played that spot and to feel that comfortable already, it says something about Cooper DeJean.
All right, and let's transition from Cooper DeJean then to Quinyon Mitchell, who has been just awesome all camp long. Christian Parker spoke after practice today. He's the defensive backs coach, who we will talk about also, because I think Christian Parker is going to be a head coach in 3 years.
Wow.
Quinyon,
head coach, not coordinator, head coach.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a defensive coordinator next year.
Wow.
I mean,
buy your stock down, Christian Parker. I like that.
He was asked, "Can Quinyon Mitchell be elite?" And he said yes, without there was like no hesitation. So explain why. And he's just talking. He doesn't even talk about the physical talent. He's just talking about the way that he's built, about caring about the game. All he wants to do is get better. He's always showing up early, staying late. In special teams, we're working. And before practice, we're working. After practice, we're working. All that stuff. And it's like, and if you don't have that, you're not going to be elite. And he's been around elite players. Obviously, he coached Surtain at the beginning of his career too, right? This summer has been fun for Quinyon because AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith are different types of receivers.
Right.
He's been very sticky to both of them. Do you think that Quinyon can be? Eric Allen just went to the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to throw a Hall of Fame count, but do you think he can be the best Eagles corner that you have seen, Fran?
Yeah, I think he could be. But yeah, I think when you're looking at it, and again, you're talking about a player, and this is why I loved him in the draft, was that
Flex.
look, the tape spoke for itself.
Yeah.
This is a guy that could play press, he could play off, he could turn and run. He had instincts in zone, he had instincts in man. Like no matter what you needed, like he had that ability to do it. So I do think that he's got that ability to be, one of the best corners we've seen.
And so, what is, if you're building out the defense, and you want to make the best use of Quinyon Mitchell, what more can we put on his plate? What are the things that they would do, and what are the things that Quinyon needs to do in year 2?
I think that in terms of like, if you're going to put more on him, it's to be that pure travel corner.
Okay.
And we know that we've seen them practice that over the course of this summer. I think that would be a signal to everybody else. I mean, look, the NFL top 100 continues to roll out. He cracked the top 50. We talked about that with Cooper DeJean.
Wasn't surprised as well.
Yeah,
49th overall.
49th overall. And so, that to me, surprising. I think Rich and I talked about how he came in at I think it was 8 or 9 on Jeremy Fowler's list on ESPN, polling executives around the league, and it's like the fact that he's getting this love already, considering the lack of production last year, even though the defense was really good, a little surprising. But if you are going to say, all right, we're gonna announce him to the rest of the league, being that travel corner, there aren't many of those in the NFL. So if he becomes that guy, that would be an impressive mark.
So Parker was asked about that as well, and said it's very matchup based.
Yep.
Right. Like if it's a team where they run a lot of motion, he's not going to travel. It doesn't make sense.
Yep.
And obviously, with guys on the inside, they've got Cooper DeJean. But yeah, he thinks he's ready to do that.
Yeah, I seen this summer that he's ready to do that, and he is. They're clear. Like the difference between him and the next guy is pronounced. And so you talked about like what's next in his game too. And if you watch the clip about him being 49th overall, and this is something that players joke about, it's his ball skills and lack thereof. And we've discussed this and things he's doing behind the scenes. And that's something that even going back to college, besides that 4 interception game he had,
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, he really didn't get a lot of interceptions. And so we made a big deal when he had that interception last week, and then he had this interception today too. So 2 during camp, when last year his first interception during the season didn't come until the playoffs. If you take someone who can be an elite cover corner, and then you add the ability to make plays on the ball, you're so well rounded.
I don't need him to be Asante,
right?
Like hunting for picks. I just need him to not drop the easy ones.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there have been a handful of plays so far this summer where I'm like, I wish I could see the film of this one. This one, it goes to the top of the list because the way that he came down and attacked the ball, my guess is that it was somewhat similar to the Cooper DeJean pick 6 in the Super Bowl, where he's got his assignment and he peels off of that, recognizing the route that was coming from across the field. I think it might have been Aniyah Smith coming from across the field in a crossing route, and he picked it off. So without being able to see the film, I can't say that, but that's the way it felt being there on the sideline.
Let's talk Christian Parker then.
Yeah.
I did get him to smile.
Oh, good for you.
A little chuckle because I was asking him about the makeup of that room, the corners especially, is very young, right? You've got Adoree Jackson, you've got Perry Nickerson, but everybody else is first, second, or barely third year, like Eli Ricks, right? It's a very young group. Like, what's the dynamic like? Is the room different? He's like, well, I've had young rooms before. Like, we had Slay last year and he's older than me. And I was like, and I flex, like, I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he is. He's very young, but he always wants to learn. But anyway, the way that he taught, like, you talk about like the being detail oriented, and also bringing some of the juice. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to think that Christian Parker is like a very good coach? I mean, you just see how good these guys have gotten. He doesn't deserve all the credit.
Yeah.
It's the scout conversation we have, right?
Yeah.
But getting Quinyon and Cooper DeJean as ready as he did and seeing their ascent, like I think he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on based on multiple things I've heard about Christian Parker. I've sat down with him a few times. I don't confess to know him well, but he's sharp. He's respected by his players. He has like a real good football background. When you look at some of the different people that he's worked for, the fact that like Vic Fangio wanted to bring him in, I think speaks a lot. Even at that age when Vic's putting a staff together, it's like I want Christian Parker. The way Darius Slay spoke about him last year, the development of Cooper DeJean last year, the development of Quinyon Mitchell last year, like that's Christian Parker right there. And so I tend to think that defensive guys have a harder time becoming head coaches. But when you have whether it's a dynamic personality or like you take your football acumen and then you combine that with like leadership chops, then defensive guys can potentially get on that fast track. If he interviewed for the Saints D coordinator job last year, obviously didn't get it. But I imagine, to your point, he'll get DC interviews this year. And if he does that, then 2 years in that role, that's what Gannon did, and Gannon became a head coach.
I think the larger point, though, with respect to this team, is that it is pretty crazy, and it is a nice guard against the expected just like reversion a little bit of the defense.
Yeah.
That they kept the entire defensive staff together.
Nuts. I mean, it's one of the biggest coups of the offseason in the NFL is the fact that Clint Hurt working with the defensive line, Jeremiah Washburn with the outside linebackers, Bobby King at linebacker, and then Christian Parker, and then Joe Casper working at safety. You either have guys who have been coordinators in the past or potential coordinators down the road. And this is a group that I would expect to get rated pretty soon. Like if it's not this coming off season, like I would be very, very surprised. It should have been this year. You could have made an argument that at least two of those guys could have gotten DC jobs this past year.
I think so. Can I ask you another press conference question? Because press conferences to head coach, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
But judging only on their press conferences.
Okay.
Shane Steichen, Kellen Moore, Kevin Patullo. Which one would you hire to be a head coach?
Kevin Patullo.
I think so too.
Yeah, Kevin Patullo.
Kevin's great. Kevin's great.
Yeah,
Kevin's great. And
they're different.
They're different. I said like Kevin's awesome. I remember the first segment I did with him when he came in to do Telestrator stuff when I was working with the Eagles. I mean, right away I was like, yeah, he's one of my favorite coaches we've had in. He's awesome.
Okay, you agree?
I agree.
Not that part, but about the first question.
Yeah, among those three,
yeah.
Absolutely on Patullo. I thought Brian Johnson was sharp too, but Patullo for sure. He has a dynamic personality.
All right, let's take a break. Come back. We'll get a little bit more into the weeds of practice. We've got O-line, D-line one-on-ones. We've got I thought Johnny Wilson's best day of the summer so far. I think Anaya Smith looked okay as well. Maybe some resurgence for last year's late round wide receivers, but much more to come coming up on the PHLY Eagles podcast. TrueMark Financial, baby. The reason we love them, because they're good for you. They're going to save you money. They're going to make you money. Believe it or not, back to school season, I think we all know, coming right around the corner. And if you've got a middle or high schooler gearing up for another year, new classes, new supplies, of course, a new sense of independence, well, they're growing up fast. One thing hasn't changed, though. Back to school shopping, it adds up. You got all the stuff you got to get, the backpacks, the tech accessories, new clothes, and a pile of supplies that seem to grow every year. Well, this time around, why not use your TrueMark Financial Credit Union debit card that earns rewards? Every time you use your card and choose credit for those back-to-school purchases, you earn points, whether it's for lunch gear, headphones, or that hoodie that your kid just had to have. And those points, they can be redeemed for cash, gift cards, travel, and more. If you spot a gift card that you already want to get, guess what? Make it work for you with the TrueMark Financial Credit Union debit card. If you're already a TrueMark Financial Credit Union member, be sure to check out your debit card benefits before you start shopping. And if you're not yet a member, now is a great time to join. Just visit one of TrueMark Financial's 24 branches or head to TrueMark.com to open an account today. That's TrueMark.com. TrueMark Financial Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
If you're looking for the dealership with the most inventory and super low lease payments in the Philadelphia area, I want to tell you about Kia of Cherry Hill. KiaCherryHill.com is the place to go. Choose from over 450 new Kias, including Tellurides, Sportages, K5s, Carnivals, Celtos, souls, and more. I've got to tell you, Kia is the hottest automotive brand in the country for a reason. 7 of their models have already received the 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards. That's amazing considering there were only more than, there were more than 450 models tested and only 20 models industry-wide that received this award. If you combine that with the best warranty in the business, 10 years and 100,000-mile powertrain, and 5 years, 60,000-mile bumper-to-bumper, that is just an outstanding offer. Stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and receive a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade-in appraisal. I know people buy Kias elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Kia today, just minutes from all bridges, or available online 24/7 at kiaofcherryhill.com.
All right, it's time now for the Future is Bright segment presented by Shady Rays. Let's talk Jihaad Campbell. I know we talk a lot about Jihaad Campbell.
Yeah.
And we already talked about how Vic says that maybe they've put a little bit too much on his plate. But explain just the different ways that you've seen him be used.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him obviously play a traditional stacked linebacker role, right? We've seen him play as the weak side linebacker. We've seen him calling the defense as the middle linebacker. We have seen him come up on the line of scrimmage at times and rush. We've seen him come up on the line of scrimmage at times and drop out, sometimes in man-to-man coverage against the back, sometimes in man-to-man coverage against the tight end, sometimes in zone coverage. So he's used all over the place.
We've seen him play next to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. We've seen him play next to Smile Monson. We've seen him play next to Lance Dixon. You know,
yeah,
all over.
Lance Dixon getting some reps of the ones over the course of the last couple of days. One thing I caught today. So during individual periods, I'm looking around and the linebackers work all the way over to the other side of the field, like as far away from the media as possible. And I noticed that they broke them up into 2 groups, and the one group was significantly smaller than the other. So Bobby King went with Zach Bond, who obviously is not practicing still. So Zach Bond, Jihaad Campbell, and Smile Mondon. And they went and Campbell and Mondon worked with Bobby King, with Zach Bond watching, doing drills.
Okay.
And all the other guys were doing drill work elsewhere. They were working on like attacking and shedding blocks. But it was just those guys just rep after rep after rep after rep. And I thought that was notable and you got to see him do it for different alignments as well. Again, you know, speaking to that versatility for both guys, sometimes they're like lined up on the ball and having to deal with the block. And then sometimes it was them having to attack forward and deal with the block. And I thought that spoke to the versatility. And also like, this is all part of like the player development aspect of it, that angle where the Eagles very much pride themselves on their ability to take young players, whether they're high draft picks like Campbell or late round draft picks like Smile Mondon, or developmental players that, you know, undrafted free agency like Lance Dixon, and get those guys ready to play.
What did Jihaad Campbell say after practice? It was only the second time he spoke.
I feel like I should accelerate this so you don't have to keep the sunglasses.
Why? I love wearing my Shady Rays.
Okay, slow down first. Yeah, so he's very like Sabanized, even though he didn't finish his career for Nick Saban. You know, because regarding the shoulder, he was just saying he's not even thinking about that. He does need to, as he acknowledged, like tone down the aggressiveness in practice a bit. He's been knocking a few guys down. He acknowledged that. He's kind of learning different roles here. So he's saying like he's just focused on like this practice, this meeting, that kind of thing. He wasn't real outspoken about like the next step for him.
Okay. There you have it. The future is bright for Jihaad Campbell. Thanks in some small part to Shady Rays. Super chat to get to. Alex Bellius says, what's the dress code for the Ospreys? Formal wear only. Do doors open at 7 or does the show start at 7? Good question here.
Very good question.
You know, I think we gotta work on disseminating some of these details. How you guys feeling about dress code?
You tell me.
You don't want to know what I think.
You're leaving that up to him. That's a terrible idea.
I mean, well, we typically go jacket for it.
Yeah, I think.
And then
nice.
Under the jacket, that's up to each person.
Okay.
You know, you might go tie. You might go open collar. I go t-shirt under jacket. I know that's not a look you like.
Oh, okay. You're gonna do it.
What's that?
One last middle finger on your way out the door.
That's not a middle finger. That's a stylish look. That's a good look,
I
right?
did that for several game days this year.
Yeah. And look, and Fran looks good.
He
When
sure
Fran does it, yeah. When Fran does it, it's style, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see. I want to make sure that everybody gets there. So if, I think doors open before 7. We probably won't start right at 7, right, Julia? But we'll start shortly thereafter, I would say. And then I would also say, if you are going, I think parking will be tough, given the location. So think about your plans ahead of time.
Yeah.
Not an easy place to park.
I heard Waymo is testing things out here, so maybe that's an option for people.
Yeah. More middle fingers heading their way. By the way, if you go to allphly.com, you can vote on 10 of the categories for this year's Ospreys, including the Baby You Flutter My Bread Award for favorite sponsor. So, it's good to have some sickos choices.
How many categories are there?
Well, there are those 10. There are, I believe, 19 others that will be awarded the night of. And then you've also got a bunch of the other awards that are like awarded at an earlier date. So
Right.
total, I think you're talking close to 50.
We're presenting 29 though.
We're presenting 19.
Oh, okay.
Those ones the ones that the people are voting on, I will announce those winners,
Yeah.
but it's not a full discussion of
Yeah.
those. Why? You got something else to do?
No. I was trying to get a sense how long it's going to be.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I said you got something else to do. Yeah.
I mean,
It's going to be a nice long evening.
I'm used to those here. So
Yeah. Okay. First in person one. Very exciting.
That's right.
that is true.
It's fun.
Shows the progress of the Ospreys. My first Ospreys came during COVID.
Wow.
Was that the one where my Wi-Fi busted? The first
Classic.
one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and then we had to do the second one. Yeah. That was the official transition of the Ospreys to a midsummer event.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that you were frustrated that night, rightfully so.
Sure was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's my debut last year with the Ospreys.
You're damn right. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Opened up with a nice tight shot of an empty chair. It was good. I mean, that was cinematic. I don't think Julia got enough credit for the cinematography of last year's Ospreys.
I forgot that the shtick that in that whole buildup was that you guys were butting heads and it was a potential breakup.
And then a year later.
A year later.
I love you guys.
You want to talk like real details? Want to get into O-line, D-line one? Or actually, you know what? Tell me what you saw from the running back linebacker.
Running back
I didn't
linebacker.
get to see that.
Yes. So we had some pass rush drills with the running backs and linebackers. Saquon Barkley was really, really good in pass pro, as always. Got a good stop on Jeremiah Trotter Jr. early. Got a stop on Jihaad Campbell early on as well. I thought A.J. Dillon, for the most part, looked pretty good. He lost in one of his late reps. Give me 1 second. Smile Mondin beat him with a really clean rush move. So it's called a stab, slap, rip. So you go long arm with the stab, then you slap it with your off arm, and then rip through. Like really, I mean, like looks like a pass rush. That's a pass rush move. That's like a Nolan Smith type move. And just a clean win for Smile.
And Vic Fangio did gas him up a little bit. Said, he has had a very good camp so far.
Yep.
He didn't say very good. He said good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
But yeah.
All lowercase.
Yeah.
Those were so of the big names, though, I would say those were probably the most impressive. Ben Van Sumeren had a couple of nice reps in pass protection. We always look for like the fringe guys.
Yeah.
All right, so like Keelan Robinson, like I need you to be good in pass pro. Got beat a couple times. He did have one good rep late against one of the other backups. Dallas Gant had a couple of nice ones.
Okay.
He keeps he leans, and rightfully so, leans into his length because he is a long rangey guy. So he tried to win. He got one really good win with a bull rush, but then the guys just started sitting on the bull rush, and so that wasn't fruitful for him overall. Those are probably the big takeaways. Saquon, we talked about this last year. Obviously, unbelievable runner. But he also just does a lot of the little things really well, and he's a very, very good pass protector.
But it's an important question because when can you afford to take him off the field? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be nice to be able to put somebody on the field to pass protect.
Right.
But he's the best at that. Do you steal reps in short yardage? Do you steal reps on 1st and 10? It's a tough question for them to answer.
Yeah, and that's what last year it was like. Oh, like Kenny Gainwell's Kenny's gonna be our 3rd down back, and I was like, no,
no, he's not.
We don't want that. Put him in there. So then he became more of like, all right, like between the 20s, early downs, find like a 3 or 4 play sequence where you can give Saquon a blow and you get Gainwell out there. I think my guess is that would be the approach going into this year with Shipley.
Do you think this is something they're worried about, Zach?
I mean, I hate to like mimic
not,
Howie
right?
Roseman,
Yeah.
where it's like, or Howie's like, if you're worried about this, it means you have a pretty good team. But I think there is a degree of validity to that. I don't think it's something that they're like overly worried about, but this is what practice is for, is to get these guys better in that role.
Okay. You also watched wide receiver, cornerback
Yeah.
one-on-ones, right?
Yeah.
What were your big takeaways?
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, Quinyon in cover. We talked about Quinyon at the top. He had 2 good reps against DeVonta. Johnny Wilson had a nice catch downfield, but it's one he's supposed to make, right? He's 6'7", and it was a catch up there for him to make.
Yeah, but he beat Perry Nickerson.
Okay.
With speed downfield. You don't expect Johnny Wilson to be running by guys.
Yeah, he was open. Yeah.
And he ran by him. Now Perry Nickerson is a nickel by trade, but it was a good rep to see from Johnny Wilson.
Yeah. So my notes are over there. But those were 2 that jumped out in my head.
Okay.
My notebook's in my bag. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Which ones jumped out to you?
I'll take you through mine.
Yeah.
Darius Cooper had a very nice rep against Kelee Ringo and beat him inside. I kind of like Darius Cooper.
He is like one of my of the receivers that could go like 7 for 105 yards and a touchdown. Like Darius Cooper is on that list.
Darius Cooper is an undrafted rookie from Tarleton State.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, number 41. I actually do think maybe the bottom of the between Darius Cooper and Elijah Cooks more so.
Yeah.
They have had a couple down roster guys be pleasant surprises this summer, I think.
Yeah. And I mentioned Sunday. I think we talked about this yesterday, Zach. I felt like in Sunday's practice, it felt like Cooks was ahead of Johnny Wilson in the depth chart from from a rep standpoint. We saw Wilson get some reps to the ones. We talked about the catch he made earlier. Now Elijah Cooks also had like catches on it was the final play. It was like I gotta have it play, and he was able to come up with the catch too. So that's to me like that's a very interesting battle to watch. Johnny Wilson and Elijah Cooks. I do think that's like a legitimate battle to watch this summer.
Cooks also had a very nice rep in one-on-ones against Adoree Jackson, where he releases outside and then cuts across for the slant. It was a beautiful route. I mean, Elijah Cooks is a better wide receiver than Johnny Wilson is.
I think that's fair. Yeah,
Johnny Wilson is probably a better blocker. He's a little bit younger. There's more theoretical upside. I'm not so sure which way you would lean.
Yeah, that's why I think this is an interesting one to track as we get into preseason games, joint practice. Who pops against the Browns? Like that's gonna be fascinating to watch.
So I got 2 that have jumped to my mind.
Okay.
Kelee Ringo had a pass interference. I thought it was tight coverage, but I guess he was a little handsy there. And then Eli Ricks, who has I don't want to say popped.
That was against. That was against Darius Cooper, actually, the pass interference.
Yeah, and then Eli Ricks was tight in coverage against Jahan Dotson on
step for step, but then he was also called for pass interference.
Okay.
On that play, and then he was beat later in the drill, where it's like he sort of stopped running the route. People have been gassing up Eli Ricks of late because he had that interception the other day. Like Vic was asked about him several times. He's a very up and down.
Yeah.
He had a very nice pass break up in team drills.
He had 2 today. He had 2 nice ones today. Yeah.
But he also gets beat deep sometimes.
Which is what Vic said today.
Right.
Vic was like, he's got to get rid of the bad plays too.
Yeah.
He had 2 nice plays yesterday's practice.
Yep.
And then he had that interception in the first team rep. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think like I'm watching these practices and saying Eli Ricks needs to be in contention for the number 1 job. What I'll say is that Eli Ricks has had a better summer than last year. I thought there was a little bit, I don't want to say regression, but maybe his progress stalled last year coming off of a rookie year when he made the team in camp. And I think there's just a little bit more there this year.
There were 2 matchups between Anaya Smith and Cooper DeJean. Now this is the most difficult assignment you can have.
Two-way go, yeah.
Two-way go. And the first one, Ainias showed a little bit of like real wiggle and got a step on Cooper DeJean, but it was kind of like one of those routes that was not really a route. And it ended up falling incomplete, but he had a step on Cooper DeJean. And then the other one, it looked like he was going to win off the route, but he slipped. Like he won at the break, but then couldn't come out of it. But I didn't see a special athlete from Ainias Smith last summer. And I feel like I'm seeing that a little bit more this summer.
You're seeing the athleticism.
Like the quickness,
yeah,
right. And I guess that's the thing. I was talking with somebody today, and they're like, "Oh, like it feels like Ainias has popped a little bit," and he has. Like he's much more confident this year. Like everything.
Just the in and out of breaks, I see a little bit more quickness than last year.
But what are we talking about?
Yeah, well, that's right.
You know, and to me, like that's where I get hung up. I'm like, all right, like he's maybe like a quicker and like tougher Britton Covey, right? Like I think that's kind of what we're talking about when we're talking about Ainias Smith. We're not talking about like a deep vertical threat. This is like your traditional undersized slot receiver, possession guy, and punt returner. And I think that's what if he hits, that's what he is.
And then my last note is Cooks beat Adoree Jackson downfield, but this was like tight coverage, and Tanner McKee just made like a beautiful throw right into the bucket. And Elijah Cooks, to his credit, made the catch.
If I can circle back to a discussion you guys were having about 3 minutes ago here.
Sure.
If the Eagles played a game tomorrow, and I know that's the hypothetical here, but is Elijah Cooks playing, or is it because we said how you said Cooks is a better receiver now and Wilson's a better blocker. I thought with the way practice has gone, Cooks was going to usurp Wilson on the depth chart, and we saw today that wasn't the case. But if they were playing a game, do you think they'd put Cooks out there?
I think it would depend on what they needed. I think if AJ Brown was injured, I think you would rather have Elijah Cooks.
If cutdowns were today, what would they do?
Well, I think Cooks is on the 53 if cutdowns were today.
You think so?
I think so. I agree that we're seeing more from Ainias, but I still don't know. I'm with Fran. I don't know what Ainias is for you right now. And I think Cooks just offers more if you're keeping 5. Now, we framed it in the show last week as Wilson or Cooks because they're both the big body guys. I would probably keep both of them.
Yeah.
But that's a position where I would look to upgrade.
That makes sense to me because I mean you've got DeVonta who plays in the slot. Dotson can do it. Do you need the third small body guy? I don't know.
And then it starts getting into the other roster machinations in terms of like, all right, like what other special teamers are you keeping? Those kinds of things.
Well, and also if you cut him, will he be claimed? Can
Yes.
you still keep him in the building?
Yep.
Because if you're keeping Avery Williams, he's here to return, right? So that's taking that job away
Avery
from
Williams
Ainias
is definitely on the roster.
No, I don't.
You're
I'm just saying who's your returner, right? And so Ainias Smith, the position he's playing for you on special teams is returner. He's not like, he's not chasing down and getting tackles for you, right? So whereas Elijah Cooks might. And so Cooks might have more special teams value if you take away the returning.
That's true.
I have like, I don't know, 5 turkeys that Avery Williams is on the team. 6.
I would go a little more than that, but
it's not a lot.
it's not a ton.
He's not getting like any run whatsoever with. Like,
the idea of him being a part of the offense is.
But even still, so one of the things I wanted to hit on, we're starting to get a sense of like, all right, like depth chart of special teams groups.
Yeah. He's the personal protector.
Backup personal protector.
Was he?
Yeah, today he was. Shipley was the number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
he also had a nice catch in team drills against Adoree Jackson when they were backed up from Tanner McKee.
I think if they keep a guy purely on special teams, it's Van Sumeren and not Avery Williams.
Who was back today, by the way.
Today, yes.
Yep.
Any other injury stuff that we need to know?
Yes. Let me pull these up to here. So the players who did not practice: Zach Bond with back injury, AJ Brown with hamstring injury, Lewis Seen with a hamstring injury, Montrell Johnson with a hamstring injury, Trevor Keegan with a back injury, Terrace Marshall with a knee injury, and the new one is Byron Young with a groin injury. Limited is Charlie Hewlett with the neck injury. The Eagles now have 2 long snappers.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So they added a long snapper yesterday, and I know there was speculation: is this done as like competition? I don't perceive that to be the case. If they were to put Hewlett on IR, then he's done for the season. So the only way to carry, the only way for Charlie Hewlett to be on the team this season is to be on the 90-man roster now. And so I think they just need a long snapper for practice. That's my guess. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. I think if they were going with a different, I don't think they'd have a long snapper competition. I think if they were going with a different long snapper, they would have just moved on from one. But then Mac McWilliams
Brings back the days of James Winchester.
the wonderful days of James Winchester. Yes.
We all remember those.
Jimmy Winchester.
Mac McWilliams has a quad injury, but he was limited today, so that's a sign of progress. Drew Makuba, shoulder injury, continuing to progress, but limited. Nolan Smith with the concussion, back at practice on a limited basis. And then Ben Van Sumeren back at practice with the ankle injury.
Nolan left practice, though. Towards the end, it was one of the final team periods. He was walking off with a trainer. It was, I don't know. I noticed it like 2 minutes before Tyler Steen had that injury scare where Tyler Steen was on the ground. He got up and he ended up being fine.
I think that was a got hit where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, I think I hit
I
the
wondered
midsection.
that, yes. Because the guys were like on a knee, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But he popped up, so
Yeah.
all good.
Okay. Well, I don't know, all good, but
Well,
Easy for you to
now,
say. Yeah.
all right.
All right. We are going to come back on the other side. We're going to go through O-line, D-line one-on-ones. We're going to tell you why there might be a third exciting mic coming up
Ooh,
after this on the PHLY Eagles
good
podcast.
tease.
All right. I should have looked at this before, but it's an exciting time for me to tell you about our friends at Parks Casino. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the Bet Parks online casino app. Check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fire Blaze Sky Queen, a Bet Parks exclusive. The only app that you ever need to use to play your favorite casino games is right in the palm of your hand with Parks Casino. You can play blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra online slots. Play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like Walking Dead, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, and Peaky Blinders, and all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparks.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParks. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. You bet Parks. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you craving the perfect snack that satisfies your hunger and provides the right amount of protein to fulfill your body's daily needs? Well, we have got the solution for you. It is Righteous Felon beef jerky and meat sticks. Righteous Felon traces its roots right back to the hallways of Downingtown Middle School and was officially launched by lifelong friends in their apartment kitchen after college. The Exton PA-based company has been making all-natural, premium quality, better-for-you meat snacks for over a decade and has evolved into the region's preeminent jerky brand. The packaging is fun, it's engaging, and the flavors are bold and tantalizing. The texture, it's tender and soft. These are, without question, the best meat snacks around, and we're only 5% saying that because they are paying us to. The jerky and the sticks are sold in favorite local retailers like Wawa, where they're running a 2-bag for $10. Best value you'll see anywhere deal on jerky right now. You can get it in Giant, Costco, Royal Farms, and thousands of independent stores. What's more, Righteous Felon helps fuel your favorite Philly athletes by working with the nutritionists of each local pro sports team to provide jerky and sticks for players to eat before and after workouts and as a refueling snack during games. So if Righteous Felon jerky and sticks are good enough to keep Philly's pro athletes performing at the top of their game, it's got to be good enough for you, the average Joe Schmo as well. Now, if you're the kind of person who wants a deal and snacks delivered to your doorstep, you can order online at righteousfelon.com using the discount code PHLY20 for 20% off. They've got all kinds of cool variety packs and bundles on the site, so it is the perfect gift for that special meat snack lover in your life. Again, that is discount code PHLY20 for 20% off your order on righteousfelon.com.
All right. Time for the big deal presented by Cherry Hill Kia. And we got to see some real football today. We saw some live period with the threes.
Oh, yes.
Move the ball. And you and I were standing next to each other for this part, Fran. And I said, I got a feeling
He called the shot.
we're going to see a big Max and Hook hit.
So we're going to see a big Max and Hook hit here, like 35 seconds before it happened.
And then they get down to like the 3-yard line. and I think it was Shunderick Powell. It could have been Kelee Robinson. There's a run to the left there, and Maxon Hook lays the wood in the hole to the extent that like the defense goes crazy.
Yes.
And you hear one person from the sideline say, "Oh, we got 3 of them."
My favorite line of all of camp. Just unbelievable by whoever that was on the defense.
Really good.
Referring to the exciting mics.
Yes, the pigment of the defensive
Gotcha.
back.
Okay, yes. I want to clarify.
Yes, Maxon Hook is a white man.
The audience might not know who Maxon Hook is. So, yes. Yeah.
Nice play from Maxon Hook.
Nice play from Maxon Hook. Showing up, running the alley, making a tackle one-on-one. It was a really good play.
We also saw in that drill, who did Dorian Thompson-Robinson hit for the touchdown? Oh, that was
Jackson. No, that was
Giles Jackson.
Yeah, Giles Jackson.
Not bad. I like Giles Jackson.
Really, really well-tracked ball over the shoulder, adjusted mid-flight. Really, really
against
nice catch
Perry Nickerson, and it was one where it was a really good read from DTR to see that there was no over-the-top help at safety, and so you throw it deep instead of to the corner where it was supposed to go probably. And really nice tracking.
Yeah, really nice job from Giles Jackson.
I don't mean to interject here, but just a quick interjection is yesterday DTR took all the 13 reps, as Fran pointed out. You saw that play from DTR today. Is there a competition for QB3, or do you think it's, McCord's the drafted player? He hasn't looked bad out there. He's going to be the QB3 no matter what.
Yeah, in the spring I thought it was over. I don't think it's over anymore. I think Thompson Robinson has looked pretty good.
Yeah, and
it's really more about what do they want to use the roster spot for,
especially because we've always kind of counted on DTR to be the guy that's going to pop in the games.
Yeah,
and so I'm watching that one with interest.
But McCord also made a really nice throw today in a tight, like low red zone,
late,
really tight window on a touchdown slant to Taylor Morin.
Yep.
So I think from having been to a lot of training camps, the quality of play from the third and fourth quarterbacks is higher than I'm used to.
Yeah, I mean, I think Howie would love to trade DTR. Yeah, which is easier said than done. But if he shows something in preseason games, like we said the other day, he hasn't been exposed to waivers yet. He's a former draft pick. You never know.
Any other notes from the live periods? Nice to see them actually tackle or
live.
Yeah, Dallas Gant had a tackle on was it Keelan Robinson, I believe?
Yes, it was Keelan Robinson chasing him down. We talked about the deep ball.
I think that was about it.
Yeah, I think those are the notable ones here.
All right, that'll do it for the big deal presented by Cherry Hill Kia. Some real ball on Monday. Want to go through O-line, D-line?
Yes, please.
I missed the very first rep of Nolan Smith against Matt Pryor.
Yep.
Did you see that one?
I missed the first one.
Okay, and then
all right. We're all in the far field, and then they announce O-line, D-line one-on-ones, and they're happening on the middle field. Bo is in full sprint.
Not full sprint, but there's some giddy up, yeah.
And not only that, like the drill where the running backs, they run through the area where that's the mimicking like tacklers. That was Bo running through the crowd.
Yeah. Well,
we just had to burrow his way through.
He's the best crowd walker I've ever
exactly
encountered.
Right. Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much.
The absolute best. It is intimidating to be in an airport with Bo. Like he is. Like if there's an Olympic sport for this, he would. I agree. It. Yeah.
The best place for it that you and I have done is New Orleans, because you have to walk through the crowd to get down to the locker room.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good venue for me to show off my skills.
Yeah. Like your legs hurt at the end of this. Like you're just
it's like a running back. Yeah. You see the holes.
It was impressive.
Okay.
So I got there the same time that you did, slightly afterwards because you were leading the way.
First rep looked like Nolan did get outside of Matt Pryor.
Yes.
Or the second rep.
The second rep, yes. I thought so too.
Okay, we'll go down the line here. Next was Tyler Steen against Moro Ojimo. 2 really good reps from Tyler Steen against Ojimo, who has been so good. The second one in particular, like a really strong anchor, I thought was an impressive rep.
Yeah, I thought that Ojimo won both. I thought that Steen won both. I agree with you. I thought those were 2 clean reps from Steen there.
Okay, next up you have Jordan Davis, and the first rep's against Brett Toth. The second rep is against Drew Kendall. And the first rep, Toth goes to quick set, and Jordan Davis just swims right past him.
Great job.
And this is a move he has in his bag.
Yes.
We have seen him win with this before. And in theory, you feel like, as a pass rusher, either Jordan Davis should be able to just power through a guy, or if they're trying to quick set him, he should be able to do it. So as long as he can do this, you think that would lead to success on the bull rush front. The problem is we don't always see that on the bull rush front, right? He is sometimes not quite as powerful as you hope him to be as a pass rusher.
There's a thing that I'll write down often about defensive linemen is like, if he doesn't win quick, he doesn't win.
Yes.
And that's kind of how I feel about Jordan Davis, is if he doesn't win quickly right off the ball, he typically doesn't win late. And so that's one of the things I'd like to see him get better at, is like, all right, we know he can win with that quick swim. Sometimes he catches guys off balance where he's able to get them with that bull rush, but it's not like a well-tempoed rush where he sets up speed to power, or he wins with a counter move. It typically is like he wins off the ball and that's it.
Which is why the second rep, that is what he did.
Yes.
Right? He goes up against
Correct.
Drew Kendall, and it looks like he's locked up, and then he gets right around him. That was an encouraging one to see.
I agree.
Okay, you move down the line here. You've got who was 76?
Kenyon
Green. The first rep against Jalen Carter.
Yes,
Pretty
it's a very good rep.
good. Then Jalen Carter beat him on the next one.
Yep.
Do you feel like Jalen Carter's going 100% on these?
100, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No.
If I can interject here about Jalen Carter, because we had the chance to speak to him yesterday,
Right.
and I asked about what you brought up when he was banged up, and he was happy to talk about this because he is, it was kind of a combination of both of our answers, and I'm referring to him being animated on the sideline. He's like, you're at practice. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right. But he said that the coaches have talked to him about speaking up more this year. And like, this is something that he wants to do, that he has to do. He says he doesn't need to have like a vein bulging out of his neck in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he says that he's a guy who's going to bring that to the defense, similar to how Saquon does for the offense.
I've heard that like Jalen Carter, like he loves practice.
Yeah.
So I think that fits that.
That's great. It does feel like maybe this is you're a winning team, and so it only looks like this. But it does feel like the Eagles' superstars are all very bought into practice.
I think that's
Saquon,
purposeful. Yes.
AJ, Jalen Carter, Jalen Hurts, obviously. Maybe that's all superstars, but it didn't feel that way. Like I've covered other players, so it didn't feel like that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It does feel like that right now.
I think there's a reason for that. Yeah. I think they target those kind of players.
That's a great point.
Yep.
Saquon said today his best attribute is trash talking. And I said, like, and so I followed up here, and I was like, Saquon.
This is like even better guy.
This is even better guy.
Yeah, I was like, Saquon, you rushed for 2,000 yards. Your best attribute is like, yes. He's like, this is what I've done my whole life. Like, it goes back to, playing basketball when you're a kid. He's like, he loves talking trash. And
Maybe his favorite thing to do.
Maybe
that's a better way to say it.
Yeah,
Then.
right.
Yeah, he said it's his best attribute.
You also broke some Saquon Barkley news today.
I don't know if I broke some Saquon Barkley, but yeah,
Well, he did.
I asked a question that he answered.
Yeah.
So Saquon Barkley said he is not part of President Trump's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. He was asked a few months ago, and it wasn't something he was prepared to take on. The people around him were like, nah, you don't need to do this right now. And so he was, and I'm using his word, shocked that his name was mentioned there. So I think Saquon was happy that question came up, because I think he wanted to kind of clarify that even though he was listed by the White House as someone who's on this, he is not on this council, and it totally caught him off guard that he was on this list.
Curious.
Yeah, let's move on. Okay. We go back over to right tackle again. Matt Pryor is back up, and he handled Obo Okoronkwo on the first one. Okoronkwo tries to duck under him, and Pryor handles it. And then the next one was like just kind of sloppy on both their parts. It didn't feel like super helpful.
You missed the Mailata Jalen.
Oh, yes, I did. It's just, this is one, we go back the years of Joe Osman was just a tough matchup for Jordan Mailata. Jordan Mailata is just a tough matchup for Jalix Hunt.
Yeah.
Jalix Hunt just cannot get through him.
The second one, Jalix tried to bull rush him, and Jordan, because he plays this way all the time, he was laughing.
It's what it's like what happened the first time. It's like the older brother. It's like
it was very funny.
It's very funny. Okay, we move over now. Let's see. Darian Kennard at guard. Pretty good rep.
Yeah,
the first one
against Booker.
Against Thomas Booker, but then Booker bounces back with a clean W.
Yep.
And I want to talk about this because we talked about it a little bit, but it has been established now over the past couple of practices that it is now Pryor at right tackle and Kennard at right guard.
Yes.
With the twos. I don't know that Kennard is better built for guard or not. This feels like more of a Matt Pryor thing than a Kennard thing to me. Is that? I don't know. What do you think?
Interesting. It's funny. I was going back through my notes from last summer, and I actually wrote in last summer. I was like, I think that Kennard's better at guard.
Okay.
I think I like him more at guard.
You're right.
Right.
Kennard the guard is better.
Yeah. Than Kennard the swing tackle.
Yeah.
But I do think that this switch is probably more about Pryor. I would agree with you.
Well, the O-line depth. I mean, listen, we're 55 minutes into the show. Let's get into it. It's going to be an interesting roster equation.
Oh, yes, no question.
I mean, you've got your starting five. Well, let's just say it's Tyler Steen.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that Matt Pryor is probably on the team as probably your backup at 4 positions on game day.
Yep.
Like Drew Kendall probably makes the team.
Yep.
Does Kenyon Green make the team? Does Trevor Keegan make the team?
Can I ask Zach the same question I asked you at the beginning of practice?
Yes.
Is Kenyon Green on the 53?
At this point, I'm saying no.
Is Kenyon Green on the practice squad?
At this point, I'm saying no.
That's how I felt. All three of us felt.
But there's a lot of football left here.
There is, no question.
No doubt.
Yep.
I'm looking at, the Eagles put out their unofficial depth chart today.
And,
and so they have this doesn't tell you anything. It's just interesting to see like what positions they have people at. They have Kennard as the backup right tackle. They have Matt Pryor as the backup right guard.
mm-hmm.
They have Brett Toth as the backup center. Kenyon Green is the backup left guard. Kendall Lamb is the backup left tackle.
They have Kenyon Green as the second team left guard?
Yes.
That's interesting.
And they have no third team left guard. They have Miles Hinton and Holland Pierce as the third team left tackles. Drew Kendall as the third team center. Trevor Keegan as the third team right guard. And Cameron Williams and Laken Vakalaki as the camera.
They have Holland Pierce as a left tackle? That's
important to remember
Yes.
that PR is doing this.
Yes.
That this is not from the coaches.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that out there.
Yes.
Okay, circling back here.
Kendall and
Kendall against Hall. Now Hall at the nose.
Yes.
It's not where he is most comfortable, and some good reps from Drew Kendall.
I thought there was 2 of Kendall's best reps I've seen from him this summer.
Yes. Then you get to, and this is just unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, Ty Robinson, you're talking about like, the guy who was in school for 15 years.
Right.
Going up against Laken Vakalaki. It's
Quick
the
work.
only guy he ever goes against, and he destroys him every time. Can we get a new matchup?
Yeah, it's hot knife through butter. It's
brutal.
bad.
The second one in particular was like just a total slap.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was brutal. Looked like Uche got inside of Miles Hinton.
Yep.
On the first one, and then I thought more disconcertingly for Hinton, it looked like Uche overpowered him on the second round.
You got to see 2 Hinton reps though. You've had to feel good about that.
I know. Maybe we saw this. Maybe this was why.
Yeah, this could be it.
Did he talked after practice, right, Hinton?
He did. I wasn't in on him. I was in on some other guys there.
I
was in on Trotter.
I actually thought that Cam Williams' first rep against O'Shawn Mathis was the best rep that I've seen him have.
Okay.
But then Mathis got outside of him on the second round.
Correct. So Mathis got outside him on the second. I still actually even gave the edge to Mathis on the first one.
On the first one?
Yeah, but it wasn't like overwhelming.
I just, we were gonna do the thing of who has changed your mind the most. To me, Cameron Williams has been I haven't seen the tools athletically or powerfully that I was expecting to see.
Yep. I would agree with that. I think
it's been a little disappointing.
Yeah, and even again, kind of seeing all these guys up close. We talked about it, but Hinton looks
better.
Ready. Yeah,
looks better. Yeah.
We will also give you the scoop on today's music selection, Zach. In
overtime.
Oh, that was muted. It was kind of a sad
overtime.
There we go. Okay. Well, I mean, should we finish this? I guess we
might as well.
There's a couple more. Jacob Sykes eventually shakes loose. Yeah. Against Holland Pierce. I think Jacob Sykes is fine. I think he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, I think he's of the day 3 or of the third team defensive lineman. Yeah, he's flashed the most. Joseph Evans had a moment this morning as well.
Okay. And then you had Toth. I had 2 good reps at center.
Yeah, against Evans. Yep.
And then Booker with a good rep against Kenyon Green.
Yes.
Speaking of Kenyon Green, the second regurgitation and training camp.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes.
Oh yeah. During it was right after this. They were doing special teams. And Kenyon Green he had a tough one.
Oof.
Like a big old puke session.
It was referred to by some of the other beat writers as the first puke session of the summer.
Yeah,
and I said, you got to listen to the show, man. You got to watch the show.
Patrick Johnson.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Jane threw up all over me last night.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, how you holding up?
I'm great.
Okay.
Yeah, we both. She got in the bath. I got in the shower.
Nice.
Good. This was not. She wasn't. She's not like ill. She gets car sick. We had done a few short car rides, hot outside.
Yeah.
She bounced back feeling great.
Classic Jane.
It was fortunate. It was not chunky.
Yes, you are fortunate.
Liquid, which I'll take that. That's fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
It is also it is a good like things like that from your kids. They don't gross me out at all.
Versus
like if it had been someone else's, like I would have started puking.
Well, yeah.
Well, of course, but like oh well, whatever. Just move on. Not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
That's the biology, right?
We used to have this debate, and I don't know if it's overtime. Might as well. Would you rather? I think we've talked about this in the show.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we've done this in the show like a year ago. You're stuck 76, 95, bumper to bumper. You can't roll down the window. You puke on yourself or the other way. Goes out the other way. What's the word?
Would I rather the puke?
Why is this an option?
Yeah, that's right.
I've puked while driving on 76 before.
This was a conversation amongst
what,
parents.
did we have this conversation?
Yeah, I think it was a conversation amongst other parents that I've had before. Because cleaning up both is
Yeah, I'm like that Seinfeld episode.
You don't play road games.
I don't puke. No, yeah, but I don't puke either. Like I probably puked 3 times as an adult, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a big puker.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. We did have House of Pain again today. Jumping.
Yes, right.
Which I don't need to hear that song anymore. And we had I thought the Eagles handled it well today. We had a lot of country music early on.
Yep.
During warm-ups. That's totally fine.
Special teams.
You spread the wealth there. And then for the most part, during teams today, much more appropriate football music. And you could see it. The first song of the first team period, I think, was some Waka Flocka Flame song. And listen, it's important. I shouldn't know these songs, I feel like. I'm not listening to the same thing that the 23-year-old football players are listening to. They need to, this is about getting them juiced. And you could see it right away. Like, all the guys on defense are bobbing their heads. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe I've gotten this wrong. Maybe Nick Sirianni is a genius. And what he's doing is he's ramping up the intensity as training camp goes on. Maybe what he's doing is we don't need guys going too hard the first week of camp. Let's play some old man music. Let's take away the juice so that once we really start to ramp up and the games are coming and then the joint practice is coming, then we really want the guys to bring the intensity.
Sounds like a question for Nick Sirianni next time he goes to the podium.
We'll have to follow it. I mean, if we get back to Steppenwolf tomorrow, then I'll take this back. But I'm opening up the possibility that maybe he's a genius.
So I actually had a playlist note today. There was a song where I thought was like ridiculously chosen for the moment that it was in practice, and I Shazammed it because I didn't know the song. The song was "Damn Yankees," or that's the person who sings it? Maybe. I
don't know.
It was here. It's probably still up on my Shazam as the last one that came up. But it was when it was during a team rep, and it was High Enough by Damn Yankees. Are you familiar with that song?
Was this the one that was like really slow?
Yes.
The yes. Yeah. I said it to.
And I was like, "What are they doing here?"
Yes, I actually said the same thing.
I was like, "What are they doing?"
The vibe felt very off.
Yes,
it was very slow.
I really liked the walkout music for Duran yesterday. I thought that was terrific. I'm eager to go to a game just to see that entrance.
Dom had that playing in his cart post practice.
Oh, did he?
Riding around the cart
nice.
with that playing.
Nice. That's awesome.
Can I go through the starters from punt?
Yeah, please.
Look at that. I love it.
Kylan Granson.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ben Van Sumeren, Patrick Johnson, Jalix Hunt, EJ Jenkins, Will Shipley, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and Lance Dixon.
LD.
Yeah, that's not including long snapper, punter, and gunner.
Okay. Interesting.
Thought that was interesting. I like tracking the special teams depth chart.
Well, Dixon is the most interesting one there.
Yes,
because it makes sense. Like the veteran tight ends, you expect to sort of get there. For a rookie linebacker to be there. That is interesting.
Yeah, Granson. I think that's my tight end 3 right now. I think I'm edging Granson over Harrison Bryant.
Sexy.
So the thing to keep in mind about Dixon and the linebacker core is Nakobe Dean's going to start the season on PUP, right? So they don't need to keep 5, right? That they can just go with 4. But if they keep 5, then Dixon would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, who's 4 then?
Vaughn, Campbell, Mondon, Trotter.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Dixon would be 5th.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's a good player. I mean,
and especially if especially if like Campbell's still. I mean, I think he'll be healthy by then. But if you want some depth there.
Plus, we know that Trotter's not great on special, or at least last year he wasn't.
Because Van Sumerin's all fullback right now. Like he's not even with the linebackers.
Yeah, but again, now listen, he's missed practice.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean, are we seeing a lot of use out of Ben Van Sumeren at fullback?
They haven't done it
when he's practicing.
No, but my point is, I don't think they would consider him like a 3-way player at this point. I think he'd be like fullback special teams. I don't think he'd be
I agree with that. Yeah. But he fills that special team.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Anything else to get off your chest?
The chat wants to know what are the 3 times you've thrown up.
I mean, I've in my
your adult life.
I threw up. The last time I threw up was in New England last year. So around this time last year.
Yeah.
Took the train up. Maybe I ate something bad on the train, but yeah.
Train food.
Threw up
Risky.
then. So actually, I probably thrown up because I've thrown up twice during my PHLY era. The other time was
now we're getting to the bottom of it.
When I was in Kansas City, and I had the broncho I coughed so much that I actually coughed. I threw up from coughing so much. So those were the last 2 I remember.
We have a super chat, I believe, as well.
Oh, we have a lot.
Several. All right. Hot Sistole. ZB, gonna miss you. But if you leave for DNVR, I'll bury my 2 Dawkins Broncos jerseys deeper in shirt retire drawer. Need uncomfortable questions for ZB mailbag.
I appreciate the sentiment here. I have a lot of respect for our colleagues at DNVR. I'm not going to DNVR.
Okay. Epion 0. Sounds like Campbell isn't ready to be a pass rusher yet. If he ends up being only a good off-ball linebacker, how does that affect your evaluation of the pick?
I still think it's fine. If he's going to be an impact linebacker, then like an impactful player, an impactful like Pro Bowl level starter, I think that's fine at 31 overall.
I mean, realistically, if he's a starter, sub Pro Bowl level, that's still a fine pick. It's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not
that's
ideal.
A fine
it's
pick.
not ideal. Yes.
You're hoping for more.
At that
I think the edge rusher thing is not about the edge rusher thing. To me, was more about a built-in backup plan,
right?
Then, like in order for this pick to be worth it, he has to be a good edge rusher. I mean, we're not talking about the 15th overall pick.
No,
took him at
no question.
32.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yep. Frank Barber, ZB, are you disappointed in Saquon for not being on the President's Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition?
Yeah, I'll stay out of politics, but I mean, Saquon can do what he wants, but I'm disappointed that the President's Council put his name in there without him wanting to. I think that your name's valuable, and that's I think that's wrong. That was put out there.
Brandon from New Jersey says, Zach, what will you miss about your PHLY run besides looking like a Dominican nightclub owner one time?
I didn't know I looked like
that one time.
I didn't know I looked like that. There's so many things I'll miss, but you're looking at it. I'll miss these 2 guys the most.
Wow, shots fired at Tyler.
I'll miss the show. I'll miss being up here.
No love for Julia.
Yeah, Julia. I mean, you guys, you're the one. She's the one you've known the longest.
I'll miss the show. How about that? I'll miss being part of something special because when this show's good, it's great.
Idiot Sandwich says, last time I threw up is when I heard ZB is leaving.
Thank you.
And my POV life says, ZB, don't leave us. How will we cope without HZ?
I hope I have far greater legacy than HZ, but
I mean,
I appreciate the sentiment.
To me, that's the whole kit and caboodle. Anybody can report on the team.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but just trying to do good work, provide intellectual, not pseudo intellectual comments.
What is that?
It's just a response to a comment. So,
I think I speak for everybody when I say I hope wherever it is that you're going, you spend less time reading the comments.
my wife says the same thing to me, actually. Yeah, I'd like knowing what customers think, but when all men count with you, but none too much, right? That's what Rudyard Kipling wrote.
Claire says, ZB super chat. Will you give any sickos hugs at the Ospreys?
I mean, look, I'm so grateful for it. Look,
What's your general opinion on physical touch with strangers?
So it's actually it's funny you ask this.
You could be Howie Mandel.
No, it's funny you ask this. It's funny you ask this because, I'll share personal things here.
I have so many of these left.
There's whenever we go somewhere, like, and we're seeing someone for the first, like other couples, that kind of thing, for the first time, I'm always like, do I got a hug? Can I just handshake here? And Emily's like, you got a hug, right? And so I typically prefer like the handshake to the hug, but I have no problem with the hug. So happy to hug. Yeah, but I'm always like, handshake or hug, and she like rolls her eyes when I ask that.
Well, of course. I mean, there's the parasociality of the relationship with a podcast host. Yep. They watch you all day long.
Yeah.
You've been in their ears forever. You barely know who they are, if you even do.
All these people in the comments, I mean, you're a part of my life. So.
Reads you every day.
There you go. All right. That'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. We are back tomorrow at 2:00. Zach and myself. Wednesday, we got a regular 2:00 show as well. We're going to talk to Mina Kimes. Looking forward to that. And Wednesday night, it's it. The Ospreys, baby. Looking forward to it. Fun week of shows. We've got you covered for the preseason opener on Thursday night as well. So for Fran and Zach and Tyler and Julia, I'm Bo. We will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.